Well, thank you, James. Yeah, it's very, very tough to watch, but obviously tougher for Sabu because he actually took the move. And just a little bit of an Easter egg here. This is the birth of Crippler Chris Benoit, who he was known as Crippler from this point on. But the birth of that nickname comes from this specific move right here, where he was trying to pick him up. It looked like almost like the Taz superplex when he grabs the leg and throws back like a T-bone type style thing, but it definitely, I think, just kind of did not. Ooh, so it's like more like a hook into a Northern Lights into a backdrop style bump, but he did not get Sabu over. I'll go slow mo here. I mean, it's pretty much what it is. What you see that it is, that he threw him up in the air, but he didn't clear, went too far straight up in the air. Whose fault is it? My assumption is that Sabu thought that maybe Benoit was going to fall back with him. In other words, the thing that makes you clear and land flat on the mat is Benoit taking a back bump like a Northern Lights or just a release belly to belly style, even though he grabbed the leg and hooked under his arm. When he goes up, usually Benoit should bump with him and guide him, and then Sabu can go all the way and land like that. But of course, that didn't happen. Yeah, you can see him on the back right there on the outside. And for 911, Paul to check on him right away, knew something had gone wrong. So that's one angle right there. Benoit, you can tell he looks a little confused by it. I guess Sabu was supposed to stay in the ring. That's just my guess. And just looking, that might be when Paul clued him in. Hey, go, like, do something. He's hurt or whatever. So we'll go to the second angle here and see what we have. All right, so the quality is a little bit worse on this, but this is the one they showed on ECW TV over and over and over again to really cement the fact of crippler Chris Benoit, Sabu's injury, and furthering it. They did make a positive out of a huge negative. So hearing that Sabu, this is the moment that got him addicted and changed the course of his career and his life completely, instantly with this move, I really don't like right there. I mean, what can you say? Even though he's getting his arm and his hand down, it's just his body. Now here too, I wonder if he had landed. Well, that's rough, right there. Can't see because it's blurry. The body is this way, and his head is that could have been a broken neck and death right there. That's really, really hard to watch. It was hard to watch back then. But I have to say, I think the thing that makes it, hey, what went wrong instead of a regular suplex is the fact that Benoit, when you do that suplex, the bridge and the hip, the popping the hips is what gets the guy to go further and clear and take that front flip to where he lands on a regular bump. But I couldn't even tell you why Benoit stayed on his feet, why he just did that and didn't fall back with him or throw him in a way that had Sabu land. Maybe he just assumed it was going to be like a backdrop bump and Sabu would go all the way over like that and land, like I said. But what went wrong, it's pretty obvious that he didn't throw him enough to clear him. His body didn't go back with him to help him clear. And the course of Sabu's life and career had changed from that point.
I can't figure out what Benoit was going for because I don't think I've ever seen anyone try and hook one leg like he does there and then just do a regular backdrop. But I'm presuming Benoit thought that he would flip over.
He had to assume, like, this is odd because you have this right here, hook the foot, hook the knee, like he's hooking it like I never seen a hook like that on the shin as you're tucking under for, like I would assume right here, this is a really weird way to grapevine the leg and doing Northern Lights where you're bridging. That's what I would assume would have happened because right here, and Sabu's being launched straight up. straight up. Once you do that on a backdrop, on a hip toss, on a power slam, on anything, if you're up like this, you have no time to tuck. You're landing, you can only hope to land. The only way he would have landed worse than this is chin up. Chin up would have broke his neck straight up even worse. But that sideways, like there, body sideways, and look at his neck right there. The angle, I mean, what was the actual diagnosis of the broken neck? Like what levels and what kind of obviously Sabu's got herniated disc probably at this point and other spinal, he's probably got spinal stenosis and a bunch of stuff just from the regular bumps that he takes. But definitely this is something that's just I can't even after all these years. This was 1994, I believe, correct?
94, yeah. He may have said it in an
So-
interview with me because I think I asked him twice because I forgot I asked him the first time. And I think I asked him, maybe I asked him like what exactly was broken, but he didn't put it in his book. He wasn't very specific about what he put in his book. But let me give you something that he did say. Quote from Sabu's book, as to why it happened, I just think he was kind of indifferent, he being Chris Benoit, and didn't care all that much about not stiffing me a little laying it in snug. That's why he looked so crisp. I think overall he figured I could take it. Indifference to risk in making the wrestling looking good really is the definition of what happened here. So after it happened, I lost feeling in my hands. Regardless of my hatred of hospitals, they rushed me to the hospital and put me under. I guess I was pretty crazy. I started to wrestle again on shows for ECW in a very short time after that, with only maybe a few weeks of healing under my belt. This was certainly against doctor's orders, but since when did I care about doctors? There's a bit more I could read out if you want me to, but I mean, can you imagine getting back in the ring after? I mean, you rushed back to the ring too early.
Yeah, mine was still 5 months, and I had the vocal cord issues and stuff that slowed me down because if I could cut a promo, I probably would have went back even sooner because I needed the money. But him rushing back in weeks, and I remember him working with the neck brace, and that didn't necessarily, that was just, it wasn't a Philly collar, the hard shell one they kept it. It was just a soft neck brace, and it might have been more for the angle and the storyline with Benoit than anything else to get him over. But you think about it, like Sabu's life and career changed completely after that, and Chris Benoit became a star after that. In two diametrically opposing directions. Sabu was still a star after that, but like you said, the personal demons and all that stuff, and that says something for all the stuff Sabu's endured before and after that. For just that's why we talk about him. We talk about what went wrongs. We talk about how people can improve. We criticize AEW for taking unnecessary risks with stupid little things that don't mean nothing. This move, even though ECW made it mean something, it was just a regular move that ended up changing the trajectory of a human being's life. But once again, we go back to the Janela show. The wrestling bubble does not make you think like you're in the real world. It's a very, very odd cognitive dissonance that exists where you think, well, that wasn't a table bump and he didn't land on the floor or anything. So how bad could it really be? Pretty much almost in a way, the most devastating injury he ever suffered because what it did to him afterwards.
In FMW, they did let him wear the neck brace. In New Japan Pro Wrestling, they didn't. So he had to wrestle without a neck brace. He said it hurt terribly, but a bit of adrenaline and some painkillers, and he got through it.
Oh, and those Japanese rings are like literally like cement floors back then. Wow, New Japan, way to go.